G'day everyone, this is an instructional video on the installation of the HNT Gordon tail vise. When you receive your vise, you'll get a set of instructions with it. This video will help clarify that and put everything into perspective to help you mount this tail vise with as little fuss as possible. In the shot there you can see the instructions. It's not drawn to scale, but all the measurements that you need are in the diagram. So the first thing you need to do is assess your bench and work out whether you need to add wood underneath the vise or not. If your bench is 50 mils or thicker, then you just route your slot as per the instruction. If your bench was less than 50 mil thick and you have to glue a piece of wood underneath where the position of the vise, do that first, glue and screw it, let it dry. Then the next thing you do is, if you have pre-existing dogs, you can line the centre of the tail vise with those dogs. If you don't have dogs on your bench, we recommend 75 millimetres from the centre line of your dogs to the edge of the bench. We find works really well. There are pros and cons for that measurement, but think about what you're going to be making, and if you need to vary that, that's fine, but just you don't want the dogs too far in because you don't want to have to lean over when you're planing. If they're too close to the edge of the bench, you won't be able to use your bench as a shooting board. You need a bit of space to run a plane along the edge. So we find 75 millimetres is the optimum spacing. Next thing is to mark out your slot in accordance with the diagram. So we would route the main slot first to a depth of 42 millimetres. Right. Following that, then you route a slot to accept your cover plate. Right. Now that generally is 7 mils deep, but you can vary that slightly. That's up to you. If you don't have a router, you can chisel that slot out. There's actually a very good YouTube video by Tom Fidgen at the Unplugged Workshop where he fitted a tail vise using only hand tools. As you can see, there's a slot that goes all the way through your tail vise, and what that allows for is the dust and shavings to fall through. So if you put that in position and mark a corresponding slot in the bottom of your bench, the shavings will just keep falling through on the floor, which is a really good idea to prevent a build-up of debris in the end of your vise. If you have the old style tail vise, which has a slightly different setup here, you'll have already had that set up anyway. You can drill a hole at the end of your slot for the shavings. As they get pushed out the end, they fall down that hole. But for anyone buying a new tail vise now, this is the design, and that slot is worthwhile doing. In this vise it has a 5 millimetre pin there, and that's to stop the vise moving backwards as you apply pressure to hold a job. So to get that right, you just put it in position, make sure it's aligned with the end of your bench, give it a light tap there with a mallet, and that'll mark the position. Drill a 5 mil hole, and that job's done. To finish off, your vise comes with a screw that goes in this hole at the top end, and that screws through and holds your vise in position. Then it's just simply a matter of fitting your cover plate, drill the 4 holes. You might want 6 depending on how you want to do it. Make sure they're countersunk enough so the head of the screw is below the surface, because you'll make this slightly proud and then plane it flush with your bench. Because it's really important, if you're not using your tail vise, that you don't lose this corner of your bench. So we'll put those 4 screws in and the job's done. I just want to talk quickly about the maintenance of this vise. It requires very little maintenance. But say it does get a little bit tight, you can put a little bit of oil between the brass bush and the knob. If you need to clean the vise out, take it out of its position, wind that, and the brass tube just simply comes out the end. And you can see it's all greased up, so you don't need to do any greasing. If there was any dirt and dust in there, just blow it out that way. Don't blow it back into the thread. All right, just clean any build up of dirt there. A dry lube on the outside doesn't hurt, and that just simply goes back in, wind back the other way, and your vise is functional again. So very simple to look after. There's also a video we've done on YouTube, which you can have a look at, which describes the use of this and the dogs that go with it, etc., etc. In concert with the instructions that you get with your tail vise and this video, hopefully you'll be able to successfully mount your vise accurately and efficiently. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below and we'll get back to you. If you need more specific details about the vise, in the description below is a link to the vise on our website, and you can find out more about that. Also, you can download the instructions if you want to have a closer look at whether this vise will suit your bench. That being said, this vise should be retrofittable to nearly any bench that is out there. If you enjoyed our YouTube video, you can subscribe to our channel.